En-Mao's review of Raw from Monday night, the 13th of April 2015. So guys, tonight I'm going to start this review with an apology, as I actually missed the start of this week's Raw due to technical difficulties with my Skybox, so I'm sorry for starting the review from halfway through the first match. Anyway, tonight's Raw comes from my home country of England and it's being performed in London. I don't think it's actually live, as they normally start at about 8 PM and it's currently 1 AM. So we're halfway through the first match, which is Wade Barrett versus John Cena for the WWE US title. The match is totally in Wade Barrett's favour in front of his home crowd. Several 2 counts happen, and at certain points throughout the match, I actually thought that Wade would do it and win this match. Unfortunately, this was not the case, as Super Cena hit an attitude adjustment and picked up the win. It's so frustrating that Cena is still doing this week in and week out. Personally, I think Cena needs to either take a break from WWE TV or do a heel turn, because the Super Cena character is just getting a little bit boring now. So after the match, Cena is celebrating his win when Lana appears. She says that Rusev will win at Extreme Rules, and Rusev appears to hit Cena in the head with a metal chain. Lana then says that the match at Extreme Rules will be a Russian chain match. An explosion goes off and Rusev stands in the centre of the ring with the Russian flag behind him, and a defeated Cena lays on the floor. We are then informed that Michael Cole is back on commentary and he's going to bring a lawsuit against Brock Lesnar for his assault 2 weeks ago on Raw. Michael Cole then tells us that tonight's matches are Randy Orton against Cesaro. That means no tag team titles tonight, and Seth Rollins is going to take on Dolph Ziggler. We are then treated to the Bella Twins making their way to the ring. There are going to be additional commentary for the Divas Battle Royale for the #1 contender spot for the Divas belt, and that match is up next. The build-up for this match started last week when several Divas manipulated Kane into giving them a match on Raw this week. Over the past few weeks though, WWE has really been pushing Naomi as the #1 contender. Will she win it tonight? So after the commercials, we see that Natalya is making her way to the ring. I think that this match is so that all the English fans get to see all of the Divas in action, especially their own Paige. All of the rest of the Divas are in the ring ready for the match, and there doesn't seem to be that many. This will be a normal blink of your eye and you'll miss it Battle Royale. Paige is the last to enter the ring and receives a massive crowd pop. The match starts, and I don't understand why Brie Bella isn't in the ring competing. Surely she would want to beat her sister. There are 8 competitors in this match, and they all have paired off in each corner of the ring and are fighting each other. Summer Rae and Natalya are one duo that gets into a corner and stupidly take their fight to the ring apron, where they get drop kicked and eliminated by Rosa Mendes. She stands there showboating and gets drop kicked out of the ring by Emma. Emma then turns round and walks into Naomi, who drop kicks her, and another Diva's gone. We are down to the final 4, and it's Naomi taking on Alicia Fox and Paige taking on Cameron. Alicia Fox hits a scissors kick on Naomi and then goes to double team Paige with Cameron. Even though on SmackDown Cameron was the guest referee in the Alicia Fox versus Natalya match and had DDT'd Alicia after the match. Anyway, they continue double teaming Paige until Naomi comes around and does a double rear view to Cameron and Alicia. Naomi then eliminates Cameron and Paige eliminates Alicia Fox. Paige and Naomi continue to fight, and Paige is on the ring apron taking a beating from Naomi. Several attempts to knock Paige off fail, and eventually the match goes back in the ring. Naomi tries to hit another rear view and misses. Paige turns around and then kicks Naomi twice, and she falls out of the ring. So there we go. Paige is now the #1 contender at Extreme Rules for the title after winning the Battle Royale in front of her home crowd. After the match, Paige is being interviewed by Byron Saxton in the middle of the ring, where she gives an inspirational speech thanking the WWE Universe for helping her to achieve her dream, etc. Suddenly, Paige is attacked once again by a psychotic Naomi, who is not happy about losing her #1 contender spot. Naomi gives Paige a beating and then heads up the ramp saying that she's the #1. So there we go, at least we know another match for Extreme Rules. We are then told by Michael Cole that Roman Reigns is going to give his first interview since WrestleMania about what happened that night. Surely the WWE haven't forgotten the interview that he did with Byron Saxton on SmackDown following WrestleMania. Anyway, we will then get to see what he has to say later. Next up, we cut to a promo by Bray Wyatt, who talks about love and that the empty void that fills before love is fear, and then he continues by turning his back to the camera, and there's a graphic on his jacket. I can't quite make out who it is. Bray says that he is talking to whoever this graphic is of, and then looks over his shoulder, looks at the camera and states once again that he is the new face of fear. He laughs sadistically, and then the show cuts to the commercials. Next matchup is the Luchadragons Sin Cara and Kalisto against the Ascension. It is weird that I'm kind of looking forward to this tag team match where the Luchadragons are involved. They remind me of an old Hardy Boys mixed with the flying style of Rey Mysterio. Anyway, the match begins and Connor gets the early advantage against Sin Cara. They keep Sin Cara in their corner and outpowering with a mixture of punches and kicks and quick tags between themselves. Eventually, Sin Cara manages to break free and gets a tag to Kalisto. This guy is awesome, and as soon as the tag is made, he's flying around the ring like an out-of-control tornado. Victor from the Ascension just doesn't know how to contain this energy ball and eventually gets hit by a leg scissors DDT. He goes for the cover, but Connor breaks it up. Connor then tries to throw Kalisto through the ropes. He springs back in though and stuns Connor with a kick to the head. Connor staggers and falls out of the ring. Victor is getting up to his feet and Kalisto hits a tornado off the ropes and Victor goes down. Sin Cara enters the ring and suicide dives through Kalisto's legs straight into Connor, stunning him again on the outside of the ring. Kalisto then sets up Victor while Sin Cara goes to the top rope and gets tagged in. Kalisto hits the Salina del Sol and then Sin Cara hits a senton bomb from the top rope and that's it. They get the 3 count and the win. I love these guys wrestling and now I can't wait for their next match next week. I just hope Sin Cara doesn't ruin this thing by failing the wellness policy like he has before. Next up is Roman Reigns' interview, and it's going to be in the middle of the ring. And Booker T introduces Roman, who makes his way through the crowd to boos, and they are loud boos as well. Even Booker T looks at the other announcers with a shocked face, wondering what's going on. I guess people are telling WWE that they don't want the Reigns push at the moment. So Roman goes to the ring, and you can clearly see that he's nervous and hasn't got the welcome that he thought he was going to get. It's a little embarrassing, to be honest. Roman gives pretty much the same interview speech as he gave to Byron Saxton on SmackDown. The boos continue to ring out around the arena to pretty much everything that's said. The crowd chants several things to Roman, including Suplex City, and Roman says he went there and he enjoyed it. He says that he told the world he was going to take it to Lesnar at WrestleMania, and apparently he did. I must have been watching a different match then at WrestleMania. He then goes on to say how Seth Rollins saw an opportunity and took it, and now Reigns thinks he will beat Rollins because he's beaten before and he could do it again to become the World Heavyweight Champion. Boos ring out again. Booker then says that Reigns should have made the #1 contender, but Big Show knocked him out and put an end to that last week on Raw. This cost him his title shot at Extreme Rules. The crowd chant, "Thank you, Big Show." And Reigns tries to push through, saying about how Big Show screwed him and he's not going to complain because Big Show has won some impressive accolades, but at the moment the Giant is currently Seth Rollins' giant bitch. Big Show appears on the Giant screen and the crowd then boo him. What a funny bunch are in tonight. The Big Show cuts him off and says that at WrestleMania Roman failed. And Big Show is now going to continue to make Roman fail. From now on, that's going to be his mission and goal for the future, to make Roman Reigns an epic failure in the WWE. Big Show says that every time Roman gets up to fight or become a contender, Big Show will be there to ruin and spoil the opportunity. The crowd start chanting a quite clear, boring, boring chant that echoes around the arena. This is now getting a bit embarrassing for both contenders. Roman nervously laughs in the ring and then continues to insult the Big Show, saying that he doesn't have the balls to say it to Roman's face. Roman goes on to say that if the Big Show continues to interfere in his business, he will stick the Andre the Giant trophy down Big Show's throat, and he can believe that. Roman gets booed and makes his way up the entrance ramp. Just as he gets to the top, the Big Show attacks him. He then smashes Roman into a taxi cab that's at the top of the ramp. Such a stereotype of England. The other side is a red telephone box. All we need now is a tea party and some chimps. Anyway, the Big Show continues to decimate Roman at the top of the ramp. The crowd chants though, "You fat bastard," to the Big Show. This seems to annoy the Big Show even more, and he delivers a crushing choke slam to Reigns on top of the taxi cab. I thought he was going to go through the roof, but he didn't. Roman's lifeless body lays above the taxi, while Big Show walks off to the chants of "You sold out," and Raw goes to another commercial. When Raw returns, it's time for Randy Orton versus Cesaro as our first main event of the night. Randy's music hits and he makes his way to the ring. We then find out from Michael Cole that if Seth Rollins and Randy Orton win their matches tonight, then they will get to choose the match stipulation at Extreme Rules, where they're going to fight for the World Heavyweight Championship. Once Randy is in the ring, Cesaro makes his way down with Natalya and Tyson Kidd in tow. The match begins and both of these powerhouses lock up. It's strength versus power. Eventually Randy Orton gets the upper hand with several vicious uppercuts. Cesaro is staggering but shakes it off and shoulder blocks Randy. He then double foot jumps onto the stomach of a fallen Randy Orton. Tyson and Natalya are enjoying this, and then Cesaro gets Randy in a headlock. Randy fights out and Cesaro throws Randy into the ropes. Randy holds on and Cesaro shoulder charges him. Randy sidesteps this and Cesaro now has set himself up for the rope assisted DDT. Cesaro fights out of it and goes for a clothesline, but he misses, and Randy, now on the ring apron, hits Cesaro with a clothesline. Randy Orton then gets pulled off the side and attacked by Tyson Kidd. The referee rings a bell and Randy Orton wins via disqualification. Well, that was short-lived. And pretty stupid by Tyson Kidd, if I might add. If I was Cesaro, I would be really pissed off at that. Anyway, Randy won and gets to choose his stipulation at Extreme Rules. Randy's music starts playing, but then the Director of Operations, Kane, comes out onto the ramp. He shouts to cut the music. Kane then says that he is the authority tonight as the rest of them are not there tonight. He then says that as a stipulation is online for the Extreme Rules, he can't allow the last match to end in a disqualification. He then restarts the now no disqualification 2-on-1 handicap match. Cesaro and Kidd go after Orton like a pack of wolves, and Raw goes to a break with Randy injured on the floor and Tyson and Cesaro celebrating. Raw returns and Kidd and Cesaro are still destroying Orton in their corner. Randy fights back and manages to set up Cesaro for the rope DDT again, but Tyson Kidd comes from out of nowhere and hits a botched RKO on Orton. Kidd goes for the pin, but it's unsuccessful. The match continues to be a beatdown on Randy, with Kidd and Cesaro tagging effectively until Kidd makes a mistake and gets hit by the second rope DDT. Randy then sets up the RKO, but Cesaro pulls Kidd out of the ring in desperation before Randy can hit that move. Randy now goes outside and starts attacking Cesaro with a side suplex onto the crowd barrier. Tyson runs across the barrier and a flying knee connects with Orton's jaw. He goes down hard. Tyson throws him into the ring, jumps onto the top rope and lands a fantastic flying elbow drop that Macho Man Randy Savage would have been proud of. Tyson then gets a 2 count and the match continues. Cesaro charges at Randy and gets power slammed. Tyson Kidd sees his opening, goes to the top rope and dives at Randy straight into an RKO out of nowhere. Randy slithers on top and gets a win. This gives him the opportunity to choose a stipulation at Extreme Rules. We will find out later, hopefully. Raw cuts to the back, where Rollins and J&J Security are watching Randy's win on the TV. Rollins asks Kane if he has any more bright ideas, now that Randy has just won. Kane tells him that if he beats Dolph Ziggler tonight, Seth Rollins can then choose a stipulation for the World Heavyweight Championship at Extreme Rules. Rollins says he's got a better idea. He says that he's not facing Dolph Ziggler tonight. He's going to take on Jamie Noble instead, and Jamie Noble will lay down and allow him to pin him. Jamie says why should he be getting involved when it's Kane that's causing the problems? Seth then says that Jamie Noble has a point, to which Kane replies he will be at ringside tonight protecting Seth Rollins like he always does. Kane then questions if Seth is afraid of Dolph. Seth says no, but he needs to face an easy opponent that he could beat with his eyes closed and someone that would lay down and do what's best for business. Kane asks if Seth is implying that Seth should face Kane and that he should just lay down and let Rollins win. Kane isn't happy about this. Rollins then says maybe they should phone Triple H and see what he thinks. Kane storms out and Rollins just continues to laugh, smile and talk Kane. After the commercial, Adam Rose is in the ring getting ready to take on Dean Ambrose. We are then shown the massive bumps that Ambrose has taken over the past few weeks, and apparently he wasn't able to wrestle at the last week under doctor's orders, but tonight he's back in action against Adam Rose. A very fast-paced match ensues and neither competitor stays in the lead for very long. Adam Rose hits a powerful spine buster and gets a 2 count. Ambrose then has to fight his way out of a headlock. Several moves later and he hits a running bulldog and plants Adam Rose. Ambrose goes to the top rope and Adam Rose rolls out of the ring to safety, or so he thought, till Ambrose suicide dive through the middle ropes and onto Adam Rose. Ambrose throws Rose back into the ring and Rose makes a short-lived comeback before he gets hit with a clothesline and a Dirty Deeds double-arm DDT, planting Rose in the face. He turns him over and picks up the easy 3 count. Kane is backstage on the phone to the voicemail when Big Show walks up. He asks Kane if he remembers when Big Show knocked out John Cena at Survivor Series to join the Authority and become a member of the winning team. The Authority is the winning team, and sometimes people have to do what they don't like doing, as long as it's to do what's best for business. I could see Kane snapping in the future because of the manipulation, but until then I'll enjoy this. Big Show reminds Kane of his commitment to Triple H and Stephanie, and Kane needs to do what he needs to be done. Kane then says that now tonight it's Kane versus Rollins, and he will do what needs to be done and what's best for business. Are we going to see a babyface turn for Kane tonight? I personally hope so, and I hope that he whoops Rollins all over the ring, but we will see. Next match is Stardust, and he's made his way to the ring to take on Fandango. Stardust just had an awesome match last week when he took on John Cena for his US title shot. This match tonight isn't really a match though. I really thought that after last week's match it would be so much better. I think the intro to this match was longer than the match. Basically Stardust did a few moves, Fandango went to the top rope, missed his move, Stardust ran up the ropes and hit an enziguri drop kick, and that was it. Kind of disappointing since last week's match. We haven't seen Fandango for a while, and I get the feeling we might be wishing him well with his future endeavours soon at WWE.com. Fando has a mic and says that he's been sharing his dance time with his valet Rosa Mendez, when he should have been sharing it with the world. He then gets onto the announce table and says, "Hit the music." He then gyrates in front of the Spanish announcers doing the Fandango finger point. The crowd love it, and the rhythmic finger punching in the air returns to the arena along with Fandango's music. Rosa Mendez, though, has now been dumped by Fandango. I wonder when we will see him next. Kane is now backstage again, and Daniel Bryan asks Kane what he's doing. Kane politely says, "Please go away." Daniel Bryan questions Kane's request, and Daniel Bryan asks Kane what's happened to him, and is he going to go out there tonight and lay down for Seth Rollins. Daniel Bryan says that Kane thinks that laying down is best for business and reminds him that's what put WCW out of business. He says then that the Kane he used to know would tombstone Seth on the steel steps and nearly end his career. You can see Kane visibly going over this in his mind. Daniel says that he just feels sorry for what Kane has become. Kane screams, "Leave!" in his face, and Kane is now visibly angry. Daniel Bryan says, "Okay, but if you have any ounce of pride when you go out there, don't be a stooge, be a man." I hope we see Monster Kane later on, but it makes you wonder why Ziggler is taken out of the main event now. After the commercial, we're shown what happened at the end of Cena's match from earlier in the night, and we get an update on Cena. And we are told that he's okay after getting hit by the chain, and we are then told that he will be at SmackDown offering another opportunity to someone for a US title shot on Thursday. Seth Rollins' music hits and he and J&J Security make their way to the ring for tonight's main event. If Seth wins against Kane tonight, he gets to add a stipulation to the match with Randy Orton. as well as Randy's stipulation. All he has to do is hope that Kane will lay down and allow Seth to pin him. Kane comes to the ring dressed in his suit. Rollins and J&J security applaud as he walks to the ring. Kane looks so confused. The bell rings and Kane removes his jacket, then his tie, then his shirt. Kane walks up to Rollins, towering over him and stares him down in the centre of the ring. Rollins then talks to Kane and tells him to do what's best for business. Kane drops to one knee and then lays down in the centre of the ring. All respect for Kane and his 20-year career starts to ebb away. This guy used to be the Big Red Monster, the Big Red Machine, Undertaker's brother and a duo of Brothers of Destruction, and now it's come down to this. Kane being Rollins' bitch and laying down in the centre of the ring. Rollins lays across Kane and the referee counts 1, 2, and then Kane throws Rollins off violently and sits up in the middle of the ring. Here we go. All respect comes flooding back and the roof explodes off the building with cheers. Kane gets up and the Big Red Monster is back. He grabs J&J security and throws their scrawny asses out of the ring. I thought he was going to double choke slam them. Anyway, he then turns his focus to Seth Rollins and boom, uppercuts Rollins and then sets him up for the prowl for the choke slam. The crowd chant yes, 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 and Rollins pleads with Kane on his knees, telling Kane he doesn't want to do this and he needs to think about his job. Kane lowers his hand and Rollins tells him to lie down again. Kane goes down onto one knee and then grabs Rollins around the throat and choke slams him. Kane does the taunt for the tombstone, but halfway through it wrestles with his conscience. Then he lays down, put Rollins' arm across him and allows the ref to count 1, 2, 3. Rollins wins even though he's out cold on the mat. What has Kane done? Even the crowd are stunned into silence. Kane walks to the back while Rollins' music plays. Seth can now pick a stipulation for the match at Extreme Rules, but Kane has lost all respect from everyone for doing that. We now see Damian Mizdow walking around backstage and heading towards the ring. We come back after the commercial and Miz's music starts and The Miz makes his way to the ring for his match against Damian Mizdow. The Miz music hits again and now Damian Mizdow and Summer Rae make their way to the ring. They both copy each other, taking their sunglasses off and then their coat. While Mizdow takes his coat off, The Miz attacks and the match is underway. Miz takes an early lead until Damian Mizdow reverses a neckbreaker. He goes for the skull-crushing finale, but The Miz escapes. Miz comes back into the ring, but Mizdow hits a small package roll-up and gets the pin. Mizdow wins the match, and The Miz lays in the ring complaining in disbelief. Mizdow and Summer Rae now make their way out to the back. Next, Primetime Players cut another weekly promo, today making fun of Los Matadores, and who has ever heard of a Puerto Rico bullfighter? This promo is so bad and they need to either put up or shut up. I'm guessing they're doing these promos because they've forgotten how to wrestle. Either way, I'm a bit bored of this weekly snorefest. We are now told that tonight we will find out what the extreme decisions will be at Extreme Rules. After the commercial, Ryback makes his way to the ring. So he was in the main event last week and now he's been dropped back to mid-card as tonight he's taking on Luke Harper again. I have a feeling that this is going to be like their previous match, just a brute power match and the strongest will win. Both of these competitors deserve a push for the belt, but not the World Heavyweight Championship in my opinion. Something like the US title or even the Hardcore title if it was to ever get reinstated. Anyway, they start off and lock up in a strength fest until Ryback charges Luke Harper and runs into a super kick. Ryback hits the deck visibly stunned and Luke Harper gets a 2 count. Ryback gets back to his feet but he's still wobbly on his tree trunk legs. Luke Harper hits him with several uppercuts and then alligator rolls him in the ring. They then get up and Ryback throws Luke at the rope and when he comes back he hits him with an awesome powerbomb. Ryback shouts it's feeding time, but before he can hit the clothesline, Luke Harper rolls out of the ring and starts taking the announce table apart. Ryback walks over and gets hit by Luke Harper with a banner from the front of the table. This is enough for the ref to ring the bell and disqualify Harper. Harper gets back into the ring and the music for Dean Ambrose hits. He runs to the ring and starts assaulting Luke Harper in revenge for what has happened previously. Luke Harper manages to escape through the crowd and gets away. This could be a very decent feud, and I seriously think that they should bring back the Hardcore Championship for Ambrose and Luke Harper at least. We are then shown what happened earlier to Paige after she became the #1 Divas contender. It shows her getting attacked by Naomi, and then Byron Saxton interviews Naomi about what she did earlier. Naomi says that she attacked Paige because she should have been the #1 contender. She wants to know why there was a battle royale tonight when she's already beaten Nikki twice. She also says that she was in NXT at the same time as AJ Lee, who has done her stuff and now retired. Naomi comes across as a victim and wants to know why she's been left out. She says this stops now and people have taken her kindness as weakness, and it will stop right now as she walks off. Dolph Ziggler's music hits and he makes his way to the ring. He's going to give his opinion on about what happened earlier when Kane laid down for Rollins, considering he was supposed to be taking on Rollins in that match. Ziggler says Kane should change his name to the Devil's favourite dumbass for what he did tonight. Ziggler says he lives to compete and says he's going to take a page out of Cena's book and offers an open challenge to anyone out in the back. Neville's music hits. Oh no, what are the WWE doing? Surely they're not going to squash him again on his first appearance on home soil. Surely they can't have a rookie beat a WWE main title contender. What is going on? Fingers crossed Neville performs well tonight. His match on SmackDown was okay, but last week's squash match by Rollins killed him for me on Raw. He gets a decent ovation from the home crowd though. The match starts and Ziggler takes the early advantage until Neville gets into his stride, and then with his agility Dolph Ziggler cannot catch him until Neville hits a standing moonsault and goes for the pin. Ziggler kicks out. Neville gets Ziggler in a headlock and he fights his way out of the hold. Ziggler then hits Neville with an amazing DDT and Neville looks dazed as anything. Ziggler can only get a 2 count, and I've seen Dolph finish people with that move before. Anyway, Neville kicked out and the match continues after the break. We are back to the match and Ziggler has Neville in a headlock. He fights his way out and sends Ziggler out of the ring. A top rope moonsault by Neville knocks Ziggler down and Neville lands on his feet. Neville goes onto the crowd barrier, walks along it until he gets to the end, and then does an amazing 360-degree somersault splash on Dolph Ziggler on the outside. Neville gets up and pushes Dolph Ziggler into the ring and goes for the pin. Surely that would have finished Ziggler. A 2 count and then he kicks out. Dolph tries to fight back, but then gets hit by an enziguri. Neville runs to the ropes to set up for another move, but on his way back he gets smashed in the face by a super kick. That's gotta be over. 1, 2, and Neville kicks out again. Neville still looks dazed, and they both manage to get to their feet. Neville uses the turnbuckles in the corner to stand up. Dolph charges into the corner and misses. Neville returns the kick to the back of the head and then sets up Ziggler for the red arrow. He takes to the top rope and tries to hit the move, and Dolph Ziggler gets up and moves out the way. Neville pulls out the move and lands on his feet. He tries to spear Ziggler in the corner, but nobody is home. He misses and his shoulder hits a steel post. As he comes back, Ziggler hits a zigzag and it's game over for Neville. Thanks for coming, dude, but they didn't let you win in front of your home crowd, which kind of sucks for the rookie. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Sheamus appears and starts attacking Dolph Ziggler. He gives a bro kick to Neville and then continues with his bullying antic. Finally, Ziggler snaps and he attacks Sheamus without allowing in any time for respite. Ziggler proper takes it to Sheamus until he manages to hit a bro kick on Ziggler, and that stops the attack. Sheamus then stands above a defeated Ziggler. Raw shows us what happened between Big Show and Roman Reigns earlier in the night, and we are then told that Big Show will be on SmackDown on Thursday to justify his actions from earlier on. It's now time for the Extreme Decision and time to find out what stipulations are going to be added to the match at Extreme Rules by Randy Orton and Seth Rollins. Seth makes his way out to the ring with J&J security in tow, and there are seats in the ring. They all sit down and Seth soaks up the heat from the crowd. He brags and boasts in the middle of the ring and he tries to justify Kane's actions earlier in the ring. He then calls out Randy Orton as he wants to tell him to his face what his stipulation is. Randy comes to the ring and stands opposite the seated champion. Randy says that they should clear the ring and just fight it out now. Seth doesn't like that idea. Seth says he prefers complications and that's why he's the champion. Seth Rollins then says that his stipulation at Extreme Rules is, wait for it, the RKO move is banned. Really? Randy will lose one weapon from his arsenal. To be honest, I don't see this causing a problem for Orton one bit, as there are better stipulations that he could have come up with, like a steel cage match, like a weapons match, like an Iron Man match. But no, he's chosen no RKO match. If that's the best the champ has, then he better hand the title over now. Next, it's Randy's stipulation, and this is a corker. Seth Rollins, take note, this is how you choose a stipulation when you're the champion. Randy says that the match at Extreme Rules will be a steel cage match. Now, this is a decent stipulation, and he says this because he doesn't want the authority to be able to get to Seth Rollins or help him out. Now, that is a decent stipulation and makes Seth Rollins' choice look really lame. Rollins looks scared and the crowd chant yes, yes, yes. Rollins pretends he's not afraid, but you can quite clearly see he is. Randy then says, well, if the RKO is banned at the pay-per-view, then he'd better give people their money's worth tonight. And with that, he tips up Rollins and attacks J&J Security. He then gets his hand on Rollins and starts raining down the blows. Noble and Mercury pull Randy Orton off Rollins, but he clears them out of the ring. Randy then spies Seth Rollins running to attack him and hits him with a power slam. He gets him up for the second rope DDT, but Joey Mercury interferes and he gets the RKO for his troubles. Seth Rollins, though, escapes from the ring and runs like a wounded dog up the ramp. Raw goes off air with Randy and Seth staring each other down. So another Raw comes to a close. Thanks for watching my review and results show, and I will see you all next week when I do my SmackDown review. Till then, bye for now. So I hope you all enjoyed this week's Raw review. If you did, hit the like button and share the video with your friends. Please leave a comment about wrestling in the comment section, and please subscribe to my channel for more wrestling videos and gameplay videos. Click the screen in the centre for more wrestling reviews. Once again, thanks for watching. I hope to see you on the next video, and until then, bye for now.